cinematic, unlike that movie I saw the other night, Into the Spider-Verse.
I thought you liked that movie.
It was beautiful.
Okay.
It was beautiful, actually. It was a wonderfully crafted movie, had a good soundtrack, but we are now into the Overwatch verse here on HamTornado, and I imagine we're going to be seeing some GOATS gameplay.
And we're not in any parallel universes because it's 3-3. Parallel universe would be we're coming out in the Symmetra Torb setup, but that's not the case here at all.
No, it is not. There is no, I don't see any funny builders. I don't see any of that going on. Both teams just running that standard GOATS composition. And once again, you know, same thing I say every first fight, I'm going to watch the Zarya bubbles.
Well, look at the Zarya bubbles, asking, of course, where to use the first one here. Self-bubble up, 65 energy, gang charge up. House already down, though. And now on both sides, it's looking okay for XL2, but it's been a lot of trades back and forth, and that can be rough for the defense.
Losing Klaus that early, again, I talked about it. I hate harping on players. I hate harping on anyone. But Klaus, he just gets caught out so often in these first fights. And a large part of that is definitely probably because of this ping. He is playing from South America. But Brigitte is such an important role. And losing her, losing that sustain for your backline and your front line just means that, like, the rest of the fight opens up. The rest of the fight just opens up for XL2 and they can just out-sustain. And
the problem is, though, when Klaus gets picked off so early, teams start keying in, then they go for him more readily than they would other Brigittes. XL2, though, under heavy assault here. Muyal charges back, gonna get DMAC, but Tizzy was just crushing the front line on the other side. Got both Ryan and Brigitte, and before he even blinked, the fight is over.
While Fusions was charging, Tizzy was swinging. And he was just able to clean up the fight in the front line, just able to pick off Fusions well after that charge. That is why charging as Ryan is so dangerous, because you just need so many resources to just stay alive.
And even though Fusion's done a decent amount here, using Tizzy ahead in the ult charge, it means some more damage. And now they know it. XL2 getting really aggressive here. Early grab, Tizzy only on the shatter. They don't use it, they go in.
They're just continuing to be aggressive. They even though they'll get one with the grab, they're able to pick off Asking. Then they just get Fusions. Well, though they do not have that rally, they do not have the grab for the next fight. They just built so much time on the clock. They just put so much on.
You know, you have Wuyal in the sneaky position here. I would have loved to see Tizzy just go for the sneaky Reinhardt. I mean, it's bad if it doesn't work.
The Harry Butcher, huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't see that too often these days. It's also very risky in the GOATS v GOATS setup because you can pick so easily. Wuyal's just getting swarmed. They're just ignoring him. They're deciding to go into the front line. The Shatter's out. Fast Shatter.
Shatter in. Fusion's looking for it, but XL2, they're going to lose Wuyal out of the mech early. Barrier coming in. Still down in Ring of Power, but oh, Tizzy dropping the hammer once more. 2 down immediately, and you lose your Ryan and Brig. You're losing the fight.
Well, that was Uprising making a very smart, very cerebral play there, where they just ignored Wuyal and just rushed into the front line. But then they even set up the Bash Shatter masterfully, but Goliath had that trance ready. They also had beat. They were just ready to just survive the fight, and then Tizzy just has a great shatter. Tizzy's been taking really good shatters.
Tizzy has been remarkably consistent here so far, and Uprising getting into the danger zone a bit. Only a minute 20 left, not a lot in the bank. Sure, they can open up a rally early on here, drop the beat, but
they should be very aggressive.
They're going straight in. Oh, nice bubble. Early save going in. XL2 still in it. Logix, even though he's low, still in it. Tizzy getting super low, but getting healed up all the same. Tizzy still in the fight. The rally. Give him extra armor when he needs it most. Logix building up the grab mid-fight. XL2 could really turn the tables here. They're dropping the grab, fall through. They're looking for it. They're down Logix. Logix giving his life. Focus fire onto Klaus. Using the bell for cover, though, he's totally fine. And this could be enough for Uprising. Now they've recovered. Klaus getting healed back up. A counter grab comes in, and it's going to be Uprising getting point A.
That shatter from Fusions changed the entire fight. Logix built that grab so fast, but they couldn't follow up at all because they were on the ground. Fusions had put them on the ground. He's like, enough. Enough with you. And then they weren't able to follow up at all. They survived. Asking him did commit that grab of his own, but now they cap first, which means they won't lose. They won't get first held. And in return, they've also built up a lot of ults.
So Uprising, we'll see if they can turn the tables here. This is where a team can really make inroads on HamTornado, make up for lost time. They're going to go straight up the gut. Early knockoff attempt going in here, yet everyone's still okay for Uprising. Onto the point, looking for Tizzy. Focus fire onto the Ryan. Tizzy able to back off a bit. Both teams still okay. Mangachu, though, falling. Uprising getting the early pick they need. And the Transcendence just in the nick of time. Now a true 6-on-5. Hammer coming down and Asking hits the ground.
While this fight's breaking down, the trance is out for Goliath, late beat for Swimmer. They're still just trying to clean up Fusions with another big grab. They're just clean up on the fight. Bombs out, no bubble, no armor pack. This is just a melee. Fusions down though. Wuyal gets Swimmer. I think that should be it. They lose the frags late. Spawn advantage is out.
That was looking so promising for Uprising. XL2 though, able to find a way back in, and they're gonna get some late cleanup to boot.
Not being able to clean up those frags, losing people at the spawn door as well. Wuyal just getting those kills. Wuyal's bombs as well. They haven't always been massive, but they have been getting frags every time. And that's really all you need from Diva bombs. You just need to be getting one person. XL2, they stop the snowball. They stop any aggressive push. They've equalized the ults. They pretty much made sure they can't get caught at the spawn doors as they're exiting. They just set up their defense.
So XL2 able to regain their footing here. 3 minutes left, still time for Uprising to work with. They're looking up here early. Invest the grab the other way from Logics. And
that grab was
eaten. Yeah, it was eaten.
That grab was eaten.
Yeah, it was eaten by Cracklacken early on there, and even with that, gives up his life for the grab eat, so still good enough for XL2.
They had to use so many resources to get up the stair as well. They didn't have anything. Even despite them eating the grab, they were just able to clean up on the stairwell itself. There was so much spam, so much damage. It was a stain for XL2. Uprising could not force their way up. And this is where I want to see Uprising, instead of taking the fight to high ground, please go to point. Please rotate through lower. High ground is just the way better position for the defending team.
Well, one way or another, they do have to wait for Cracklacken to get back in. Okay, they're going to be going through the middle here. So they move on over. Right to the point, and XL2 just going to casually drop on down. Tizzy with the Earth Shatter, setting the stage, pin back the other way. However, Transcendence from Dino, keeping everyone alive. Still opportunity. Shatter back their way for Fusion. Mega Chew down. Logics holding on to the grab for himself. Built up mid-fight. Drops the grab. Fusion caught in it. And there's a self-destruct. Fusion's got to swing the other way. Bubble on him. He's totally fine. Dino, though, fell in this, and XL2 starting to get a little bit more control here. Grab the other way. Gets absolutely nothing. Nothing gotten on there, but both supports for XL2 down. Uprising still fighting it through.
Cloud's getting both supports after the rally is popped. He's about to have another rally of his own. That means they can win this fight. This is a game-winning fight right here.
But Chew off the respawn, finds Fusion, gets
Cloud. Look at him go.
The hero himself coming on through, dealing with the front line. That's going to be it. I've said before, I'll say it again. His Brigida, outright more lethal than the average.
He's able to make very clutch moments. He knows when to push, when to go for the frags. He popped that rally to keep his team alive, just sustain, and was able to get 2 frags off the back of it, denying Klaus the ability. And also, what we saw there, Klaus popped rally. He popped rally in that fight, and now he lost it.
Well, one thing I'd say between the two teams, if you had to note a point of difference as to where one team's really benefiting, Chew has been just heavily outplaying Klaus here.
Tizzy as well is going to have a shatter for this fight. They just need to look for the setup. Uprising on the point. Now they're just looking to see who can get the shatter first.
Oh, Tizzy goes down.
Not
Can't drop the shatter. Luckily for him, he didn't drop in the middle of it, but Fusions gets grabbed, taken down. Thank you, Mr. Logics. Able to get the cleanup that's necessary, and Tizzy gets a hold of the shatter after all.
Logic is a little angry that Uprising took out Tizzy. He was like, not my friend, and decides to solo grab Fusions just to ensure the point win. Just to ensure, like, no. Not today.
And you see that a lot, right? Where if you can focus down either the Rhine or the break, that's usually enough, especially for Assault, where you need so many people up to have a successful take. And bear in mind, Uprising, not even a tick left, down to the final 42 seconds.
This is going to be last fight. 100% last fight, because by the time you enter the point, it's going to be 30 seconds left. There's no way you can stagger back in. XL2 has that defender's ad. They have the ult economy very strong in their favor.
Moving on up, Shatter early from Fusions with XL2, able to get off the ledge just in the nick of time. That threat now gone. Tizzy, meanwhile, waiting with bated breath on the bomb. His Shatter is ready. They're going to dive on down. Big opportunity. Early grab coming in. Transcendence in the nick of time. Barrier out. XL2 is going to be fine. Tizzy dropping his Shatter. Doesn't get as much as he wants. Answered by the Transcendence from Uprising. Uprising now just about out of power here. They're going to get the barrier in and a rally of their own. Tizzy going to fall. Uprising still in it. They take down Chew. They're moving on in.
That late beat from Swimmer, both support surviving that initial engage for Uprising means they can bring this back. Goliath does demet Cracklacken, but the presence is so strong on the point if they cannot afford to lose anyone from Uprising if they want to win the recontest.
Uprising in a key position, but Chew again able to deal with Cracklacken. How long can he stall here on May? This is where his power on sneaky weird heroes does work out, but he's not going to be living here for long. Taken on out. Now, ticks going onto the board. Logic's on Soldier. Gonna have to sacrifice his life for the greater good. Can't even get on the
flail
plane.
bashed. He gets flail bashed. Could not touch in time. All during that time, Goliath in the back was really trans. We see here, look at these support ults just coming out so late for Uprising. Klaus had that rally late at the fight right after the beat. That is where Uprising won the point. The sustain. They were just able to bunny hop their support ults one after another.
Definitely worked out in the end. However, on the other side, you take a look at how long XL2 was able to stall.
Good defense.
Yeah, it was good defense.
Good defense.
You are happy with this in the end, where, yeah, you were close to getting the full hold. That would have been better, but, you know, the entire 8-8 dream where it's a draw after an incredibly long and protracted process, that's not going to be a thing here.
Probably not. Unless, you know, maybe both teams just cap it with OT, you know? Then technically it's a draw, right?
Yeah.
That would be a draw. It's very possible. But I find it unlikely. XL2 looking really in control as the series has progressed, especially on this map. I think they're an assault map focused team because they're just so coordinated. They're so clinical often. But XL2, they still have to prove it. They still have to get the pass first. They still have to get this last, obviously. Uprising, they show those signs of life. They were able to cap second at the end. They can stop them here. They could have a first hold.
There's been too many times on Hanamura where we've seen a team start out really well and then, you know, have a very good first point defense. And suddenly when they go to their attack, they get held on first. It's like, well, your defense was good, but the other team's defense.
Attacking is hard.
Yeah.
Attacking on Assault is a very hard thing to do. It is very defender-oriented for the most part, except for a couple points on a couple maps. You have to be very coordinated. You have to use your ults very efficiently, especially in the GOATs, in this particular 3v3 setup, in the GOAT setup, where ult economy really determines the tempo of the game.
XL2 going to be hopping out here in 3-3. Again, 3-3 versus 3-3. Nothing crazy happening. Hanamura has had a bit of craziness, but not so much here.
Not so much here. We have seen in the past, like you said, but Bubble coming out very early. They're just going to cross to this right side, maybe just taking high ground, and they're going to rotate towards the point.
Very standard opening here, and look, good for XL2. They're able to rotate over. Now they're going to be fully healed and set to just dive on in.
This is actually the perfect setup for XL2. This is what a lot of teams, you try to catch them on the rotation. Uprising, instead of chasing them, decide to just let them go, which is the better option, but you really don't want them to be able to rotate here for free.
It's difficult because you've basically given up all defenders' advantage at this point. It makes it more of an even fight. Weall getting chunked early, but still in his mech. Now Jer under a bit of pressure. Uprising, a lot healthier between the two. Mangachu just sitting here. Nice hard pack on the Diva. Tizzy gonna fall though, and now look at the bubble infusions. Well timed by asking. Gonna give him a lot of energy, keeping fusions out of danger. It's a good defense from the Uprising.
XL2 tried to do that pincer maneuver. Is Goliath will be able to get out? He gets the bubble. He does manage to just gets peeled out of there. But XL2 tried to do that pincer maneuver. We saw Mangachu, the rest of the team, set up on the flank, try to go in through main, while the rest of them rush point, and they just weren't able to catch anything. Their resources were split, and they were able to. Uprising was able to put focus on the Tizzy.
Now look at the difference here. Uprising gonna be holding a little bit more.
Grab, eat it!
Oh, eat it immediately! And now Goliath out of the fight though, so still winnable here for the Uprising.
Uprising, they get that pick. They also have that huge sustained advantage. Counter grab out for asking. They force the trance. Will XL2 commit? I believe they have to. Now they've got out.
Off the map? No,
not yet.
Still here. Does not quite fly off the map here just yet. XL2 still in the fight. Boom coming in. Barrier on for XL2. Coming back over the other way. They really fought their way into this after eating the grab. Tizzy gonna drop the hammer. Knocks down at least two, but the bomb buys the cover. You can't dive in on it there. Very back and forth. Transcend's now invested. Right as the grab comes in. Uprising. Gonna be using the barrier. They find Mangachu. Man advantage. Still very, very healthy. And now they're gonna be bringing it right back into XL2. It's time for a bit of cleanup. Klaus with some well-deserved revenge.
The chase is on. I don't think XL2 should have committed any ults there, or at least they should have waited after the rally was popped for Mangachu. Jared drops the beat, and they try to chase, but Uprising already started to disengage. They had started to back off. There was no follow-up at all for XL2 off of that beat. In return, they didn't have it for the fight afterwards. And that is how Uprising just out-sustained him again. It seems the support ult usage has been much better used.
XL2's fate here on this map with a minute 3 left. Going to immediately come down to a grab bomb. Do you wait for Logix to get the grab here before you go in?
Yes, well, definitely should.
Well, they don't wait for it at all. Klaus gonna fall immediately. So does Tizzy. Fusions answers with a good shatter. Uprising still fighting way through, and early 2 picks, and everyone's still healthy. If Asking can get away with his life, it's gonna be good, and he does.
Asking as well. He has so much energy. He's gonna have 70% to another grab. Dino will have the trance. The last hope for XL2 is this grab combo. If they're able to at least, maybe not get any kills, but force out enough ults to where they can follow up with the rally afterwards, they can win. They can get first at least.
Logix is the key person to watch here. XL2's fate, the fate of the entire map, rests on Logix for how this is set up.
Put out your thank Mr. Logix's in advance, just to hope that, you know, he cannot get it eaten, he cannot have a bad grab here. They're just gonna look for the setup. Bubbles are out as the fight just breaks down here at the point.
We're looking for right now is he down on the back. We gotta look for Logix. Drops the grab, connects, not eaten. Transcendence in. Where's the bomb on the other side? And Weall holds on to it, doesn't use it. And now he's gonna drop it a little bit later into the fight. See where it goes, and no, not gonna get anywhere near what they want.
They're able to capture Klaus.
He's caught.
They should capture Klaus here on the rotate. They weren't able to get him. There's the Klaus. Logix so high energy. They get fusions. The fight's breaking down. Despite Weall decides to save the bomb and that grab combo, he said just wait to peel for his team because he knew that Uprising would have their own. A pretty interesting move, risky though, very risky because they could have lost anyone.
It was very unconventional to say the least. But Logix says, you know what? You're not gonna follow up my grab. It'll be my own follow through towards the end of the map. It'll be fine. And by the way, look, what are we seeing right here from Logix?
I'm seeing another grab.
Already.
I'm seeing another grab from Mr. Logix. He's putting on his big boy carry pants, okay? He just did some squats at the gym. He's ready to just have another grab. They're going to move here onto the point. Smart rotation, just looking for the grab.
Craig wasn't even looking for that. He had no idea the grab was there. Didn't even make any sense. The grab catches him off guard, asking out of the fight immediately. XL2 with momentum on their side. Self-destruct to the skies. Takes down Dino. XL2 in control.
Completely in control. Catching Dino with the bomb. Getting Klaus, Jared moving into the team. We all cleaning up fusions. Now they hold the point. The focus fire is so strong for them. They still have Shatter too.
Easy enough for XL2 moving forward, and of course they will have to do one more attack round if they get this. Crack and make a little bit of room. That could have been big. A nice pile driver self-destruct. Not quite enough. I like the idea and almost a well-done execution. Not gonna be enough though. XL2 gonna take the point with time to spare.
A risky first point. A little bit of a risky business first point. Getting kind of grim towards the end for them, but they were able to save their ults to the end, utilize it the best way properly. We all being a little unconventional with that bomb. Then the fight just broke down and they focus fire.
You gotta give so much credit to Logix there though, because if you think about what you usually see between Zarya and D.Va interactions, right? You see the D.Va just staring down Zarya like, you know, Zarya owes her money or otherwise, right? When Logix came in there, was Crackalacken even looking at Logix?
Crackalacken was probably not expecting Logix to have another grab. So you can't put all the blame on him there because he probably just wasn't expecting the fact that Logix has 40-inch arms and just gets grabs in 20 seconds. You just can't expect that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not blaming Crackalacken there. It's more the benefit to Logix building it up where no D.Va player is going to expect the Zarya to have the grab again that quickly. I'm sure if we could just listen in on Uprising comms, it's like, what? What?
They were probably they were just not expecting that level of carry, but they still have to. They don't want to draw. Well, XL2 doesn't want to draw. Uprising obviously does. So we still have this next first point offense. They have a lot of time. XL2 has a little over 3 minutes here.
They do have a lot of time, but think about the other side of the coin here, which is that Uprising was able to hold them for about 3 minutes to begin with on the first time. The idea that this ends up in a draw is not that crazy.
It's not crazy, but I find it unlikely if XL2 learns from their mistakes from that first offense. Which I would hope they do.
Wait. XL2, you're gonna... Okay.
I like it. I like it. That's a triple DPS setup we see with the hamster, the HamTornado is out on the field.
And you know, I thought this could be a meta, but after the new changes coming in, not really on this patch. See how this works? Double sniper with an Ash.
Look at this.
He has the shot. Oh, the nice defensive matrix blocking it at the last second there.
Oh, that was an unfortunate dynamite for Mangachu. It hits the sign. Tizzy just looking to touch the point. Oh, he gets cleaned up by Dino. Looks like XL2's plan here is they're going to play slow. Dino getting two. Dino getting Logix as well. Just winning the sniper duel is in.
Dino's feeling liberated. There's no better time as a flex support to really, you know, just show your might than when the other team isn't full of tanks.
XL2 just looking to play slow. They're going to swap Mangachu onto the Fair as well. I think that's a much better swap. I think it's a much better swap than the Ash. They're going to look to play slow, let Tizzy touch the point again, and then you just pressure, you poke, you build your ults, you have time. All you're looking to do is build up ults. So that's a perfect pick.
Storm arrow to the noggin. Mangachu now. A lot of room to work with. Crackalacken getting back. The Dragon down Broad Street. Finishes off 2. That's going to be an XL2. Going to be able to flood onto the point. They're going to grab Hanamura.
Now they're just going to play slow, keep on cleaning these frags on point. Wooyall really opening it up. Getting that dragon. Even though Klaus did go down, it was still possible for Uprising to bring back, but Wooyall just opening it up from there. XL2 making a smart strategy switch. Yep. They decide, instead of running goats again and just running our head to the wall and trying to play the same thing, we have time advantage. We're going to play something unconventional where Uprising, you can't swap heroes because you're stuck on first.
Now, I do want to call out us as casters to sort of note how we'd be looking at that if it wasn't successful.
We would be much more, we would be very harsh. We'd be harsh.
We'd be saying, why change it up? Everything was going well, and you now run this weird strategy with a bunch of DPS and it doesn't work.
But XL2 made the right swaps. They played the comp correctly, and it is a team I can trust. You know, Fusion Uni, they're great, but I don't trust them and running that comp. But I do trust XL2 because they have so much flexibility.
I'm reading in between the lines, so I'm going to say what you're really thinking. You trust Mangachu on Pharah. You don't trust Neist on Pharah after what happened with the certain traffic light.
That's true. That is before the traffic light, really. That is definitely a key point, a key note, you know, like the
cherry on top.
The cherry on top, but I trust Mangachu's Fair a little bit more than Neist. That is, and also, you know, Neist is playing from Korea, so he does have a ping to add, so it is fair to at least note that.
Yep, fairness. That's what we're all about here.
We're all about fairness.
But XL2, now if this is a first to 3, they have 2 maps in their favor. That means that as we look towards Escort, going to be our next map here, XL2 can put this away, and in the end, it would be a fairly definitive 3-1 showing where, even though it started out a little bit rough for them, I feel like they've actually gained in strength as the series has gone on.
It would still match my predictions. It would still match my predictions, though not going to brag. But I am.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that what you're doing right this second?
I am actually bragging. But there's sometimes, we saw it from Fusion Uni as well, though there are a lot more steep of a case of having to warm up throughout the series, having to get going. And then eventually you'll achieve what should have happened from the beginning.
It's funny. I go way back with one of the analysts on Fusion University, and I just got a message from him after that. He's like, I didn't sign up for this level of stress. It's like, well, you decided to start doing analyst work for Fusion University. That's what you have.
It's a lot of stress. That's a lot of stress involved. Yeah. With that Game 5 inducing team. But we are moving on to our next map here. We're going to Route 66, I believe is going to be our next map in the old series.
Route 66. One thing I got to say here about the map selection is that, you look at the overall maps that have been picked, Gibraltar not quite as loved.
No, Gibraltar definitely not as loved for a lot of reasons, mainly because it's just not fun if you're not a sniper.
All right.
Just not fun. It really isn't. It's just like, guys, they have snipers. Let's hope our snipers win. Obviously, in GOATS meta, that isn't as pronounced, but definitely for Overwatch like Season 1 and previously when the sniper meta, and even now you can definitely still try to run it, sometimes there's really big sight lines. You're just like, well, I guess, it's just like, I guess I'll die. Like, I guess I'll die here. I can't do anything.
Their Widow's beating us. GG, go again.
GG. Like, that's it. But Root, a little bit more beloved. We have seen some different compositions as well, even in the previous series earlier today. A lot of Sombra. Sombra's a very strong hero on this map. It's very possible we can see some of that flexibility come out again. XL2, though, I imagine will keep trying to run this GOATS because they're just so solid on it.
Yeah, I mean, XL2, they've hit the point where they can just continue running what they're comfortable with. But, to your point, Sombra, it's kind of funny we're observing in the green room. Sombra's a hero that's gone through a lot of changes, and yet the inherent nature of her kit is so ridiculously strong on point A Route 66 that it doesn't matter what meta she's in. Is she getting all charged from health packs back in the day? Great, the health packs work out for her. Is she more in a situation of harassment? Well, there's still a lot of great harass spots for Sombra to build up quick EMPs anyways. Point A Route 66 is Sombra territory, period.
Definitely Sombra territory. So we move into here to the next setup phase. Both teams, I imagine, will likely try to roll out the gates, maybe using that standard GOATS composition. We might see some swaps from there. But first point, it's like a lot of first points, it's a slog. You got to cap first to win, and Route 66 is actually historically, for an escort map, been a very tough point to crack.
Point A is tough here. I mean, it's up there with Dorado Point A, where you see a lot of holds that can happen on the courtyard there. I don't know the stats offhand, but I wouldn't surprise me if Route 66 was even harder than Point A Dorado to get through for.
XL2 looking like they're going to take this aggressive first fight here, like we've seen a lot of teams throughout the season do. Just try to, no free space, just no free space.
And, again, it's not a full train wreck strategy, but it's just pressure from the very beginning, maximizing the amount of team fights. You got Cracklock and already pretty weak, and it's weakening how much pressure he can throw in early on, so he's not immediately diving in. And yet, it's still working out. Tizzy and Jer down early, Uprising just playing around the payload and making it work out.
Catching Tizzy and Jer there, they just were caught on the rotation. They didn't have the resources to keep them alive. They should have recognized that rush, but it seems like the bash came out, they got pinned down. They were able to clean up with the focus fire there. Uprising looking really, really strong in that first engage, and they broke the first hold very fast.
The upside here for XL2, though, and the reason why you take that fight that early is that they get another shot at this here. They get to go one more time with decent positioning from the top of Big Earl. So,
especially with Goliath just building up his trans extremely quickly.
Yeah, he's been dealing good damage, even while his team has been losing on the middle of the fights, and they might not expect the Transcendence coming in anywhere near as early. But Uprising on wild, they're getting a lot of good payload progress. XL2 waiting and waiting. Now they decide to dive in. They take a lot of damage on entry. Looking really good for Uprising here. Fusion, they get knocked back, but Tizzy in trouble. Discord Orb, but Transcendence early from Goliath.
Tizzy getting the charge on Klaus is so big, though.
That's big. Now the Klaus is down. Both teams trying out Transcendence, but Goliath has to be the hero here. XL2 was getting ruined. The early Transcendence from a losing team, keeping XL2 in the fight. Tizzy at 81%, close to a shatter. Grab going to be invested here on the other side, and Kraken getting Tizzy. That could be enough.
Tizzy not having the shield to stop that bomb. They do pop the rally here. They're trying to contest point. Good Shatter Fusions, getting both Jer and Mangachu. That should be it. That should be the cleanup.
And that's a solid shadow. That's what you wanted to see there. Some people go, is that a little bit overkill? No, it's very easy for people to come back in and just stagger this out. You end this point when you can.
Always worth it to drop a Shatter to get a point, because Shatter is a tough ult to get off. It's a tough ult to get a lot of value out of. So if you see the chance to just win a fight, just win the fight with Shatter.
Yeah, Fusion's sort of had the light go off in his head and said, I can win the fight now. I'm going to do that.
I'm going to do that. I hope that was his exact monologue, because I'm going to do that. XL2 just coming out a second, just looking for this next Riki test. They do have that ult bank advantage here, so Uprising has to potentially kite or get an early pick.
XL2, as you mentioned here, if Uprising isn't able to get someone early, it's not going to be great. Already, the grab coming on in, Fusion's getting saved by the barrier, so Uprising trying to fight it back. They're able to deal with the self-destruct, but Fusion's under so much pressure here. Transcendent's going to come in, keeps him nice and healthy. XL2 has invested a lot, hasn't gotten as much as they would like here. Uprising, keep building up ultimate fight. They drop the grab of their own. They're looking for the pickoff, not quite gonna get it. Pasto in danger, gonna fall. XL2 able to go forward. It's Tizzy who breaks it on through.
Right there, we see Uprising did a great job of looking, just surviving the grab and trying to be aggressive off of this portal because they did have up. But XL2 just bowed back. They played a little slower. They let them continue to use ults and then just waited for Tizzy to have the opening.
And anytime you win a slow fight, it's such a huge shift in momentum where both teams invested a lot. One team didn't get any of it, and one team got a big time bank advantage.
And that's exactly, like you just said, that's exactly what XL2 just did. They popped the rally here. They can look for aggressive fight or just to play slow again, because right now, Real is close to another bomb.
Well, they're definitely playing it slower. Mangachu's still keeping his options open. A lot of shield pressure going back the other way. Fusion has to be careful. If they crack his shield, that changes the entire dynamic of the fight, how aggressive XL2 is going to be. Mangachu just sitting back here. Discord Urbana, self-destruct to the top. Out from Crack-Lacken and forces Klaus into a bad position. He's picked off early. Man advantage now to XL2. They can keep Tizzy alive, who's under pressure, whose shield was very low. He's healed back up. XL2 can now dive directly into Uprising. They're going to do just that.
Uprising committing to this fight despite losing Klaus early, but this Insane is so strong for XL2. Look how far up the backline is for XL2. Vlad's going to pop the trans later. This is a much better exchange for XL2.
XL2 able to force Uprising to use ults, and Uprising keeps throwing barriers into Lost Light. Shatter guy coming from Tizzy, not as big as the last one. Fusion's countering with one of his own.
Really good bomb.
Back, it works! Off the Shatter, which knocked down 2. That's a big turnabout there for Uprising.
There's Logic's though still so high energy. Look, there's Logic's
What?
Klaus, he popped through. Look at him go! He won't stop. Jer, Wuyol combining. He can't be beaten.
He just popped 3 dinners in the microwave, and that was that. Oh man, just when you think things are going well for Uprising, Logix just takes all hope away.
They committed so much to that fight too, and Logix was like, enough is enough again. He said, I'm gonna do the Fusion monologue. I'm gonna win this fight, and he did.
And that's the difference between a good player and a great player. Great players will defy expectations when we have a pretty good idea on the flow of a fight. Logix just disrupted that flow and then some.
He did, but they'd had that strong backline presence. Jer was there to support him along with Wuyol. Now the fight, they're just equalized, but XL2 has the ult economy advantage.
And no small part to the Logix of the last fight. Uprising being very aggressive here, looking for Tizzy. They get him. The early aggression working out, but they lose asking as a result. Logix again laying in the damage. Wuyol from the back. Uprising just committing too much for the early Reinhardt pick. Uprising
committed so heavily for that Reinhardt pick, and we talked about it in the past. When the Reinhardt is forced to just absorb so much damage, your team has to be looking to capitalize on the fact that, you know, in that case, Uprising was just investing so much into getting Tizzy.
Look where Logix is. How greedy can a man be? But he's got grab.
He's got grab, so I mean, worked out.
I just saw, we're taking a look at everyone back here. It's like, is that Logix running back from the enemy spawn? Yes.
XL2 also ahead in that support ult advantage here too. They can look to be so aggressive on this engage.
Logix holding on to the grab, of course, should be a secret that he has it, so he does have to pay close attention to Crack-Lacken, who is giving him the Deadeye here, and I'm not talking about the McCreo. Staring down the Zarya. Logix.
Grab Eden. Asking to grab just got Eden.
That's bad, because now XL2, they can go back the other way. They have the grab advantage. Gonna force out the Transcends early. Tizzy down, but Fusion's taking matters into his own hands with the Shatter, says we don't need a grab after.
These bomb Shatter combos have been so strong for Uprising. Fusions and Crack-Lacken have combining. They've been doing them much better. They had to there because ASCII didn't have grab. They didn't have a combo, so they had to make another combo. XL2 have time to recontest. They have plenty of ults as well.
Sometimes you just got to MacGyver what you're doing right there. Do the best with what you got. You know, a little bit of a rubber band here, a pencil there, and you create a death ray. It's just how it works. We're in overtime. They're going to go for the contest. Logix holding onto the grab, looking for it. Under pressure, going to drop it. Gets in 3. Swimmer answering with the barrier. A barrier back the other way in turn.
Good
XL2
shatter.
in. Tizzy setting the stage, and off his shatter, they get 2.
That was a really good shadow right there. Tizzy getting 3. Is he going to get more? He's just swinging. He will not get any more. I don't think that was really the end of that. But good recontest from XL2. Fusion's Crackalack trying their best to make do without the grab. Asking getting these grabs, this is very new. We all just been reading them.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it comes down to is that when you play against a certain player long enough, players have tendencies. You get used to movement patterns that you're seeing, and it's just like, this guy's moving in the way that kind of is telling me he has grab.
Askin's grab been sending it to the JK Rowling bathroom universe, you know, when we're talking about reading.
Oh.
You know, it's just been magicking it away.
It's just like gathering everything that universe together after, you know.
Right there.
18th century wizards, guys.
I was really disappointed to learn that backstory you told me about the 18th century wizards from the Harry Potter universe.
I'm really surprised you didn't know about the...
I was really disappointed. I gotta say, I was expecting more.
You didn't expect that there'd be a bathroom dimension before plumbing was invented.
No, I did. Well, you know, I mean, something more mystical than that.
Look, all I'm saying is that I would rewrite the end of the series there to say is that, no, you don't finish off Voldemort with death. That's too good for him. Exile him to the bathroom dimension.
You send him to the bathroom dimension.
Exactly.
The porta potty dimension.
Yes.
But good hold for XL2. Really good hold. They just did the right thing. They recontested the right time. Goliath had that trance up because he just gets to shatter. They grab. Like now, Uprising, they're back into a corner. They have to win this map to stay alive in playoffs.
Yeah, this is do or die now for the Uprising, where they're out of mulligans. They want to go in here. They need to do the nightly special, which is, of course, force a map number 5, and actually very, very similar to the situation Fusion found themselves in earlier today.
Very similar, but they're not Fusion.
No.
They're not Fusion Uni. Fusion Uni is the clutch Kings. So you can't be necessarily hoping for the same result.
Fusion Uni just channels the best of Steph Curry. Not the moon landing Steph Curry, but the draining 3 after 3 in a key situation Steph Curry. And already Goliath, good damage on the Dino from the back. Getting headshot after headshot, 17% here so far. XL2 just playing payload.
XL2 just looking for that opening to see how deep Wuyall is. He's trying to catch anyone. They do force the boosters out of Crackalack, and now they're going to try to look for engage that both Divas are with their teams.
XL2, Wuyall getting pretty low here early on. Mangachu getting aggressive, gets punished, but both Brigida's down. Still okay. Nice shield on the Wuyall from Logix. Keeps him alive. Also charges Logix up at the same time. Crackalack can get demeched. And this is looking good for XL2, though it is a little bit back and forth.
This is they were able to get Tizzy and able to keep Fusions alive. Swimmer was so deep on that cart, just contesting, not allowing them to move. The fight, they are going to back up now because they don't have the spawn advantage. But very interesting to let Swimmer live for so long.
Yeah, I mean, trade-outs there. Uprising, it was all right, but XL2, just because of spawn advantage, are going to...
Spawn advantage makes everything better.
Well, you know, a shorter walk, it helps. You don't want a long...
No, you definitely don't want a long commute. Uprising, Crackalack is still just now getting his vet. Shatters out. They will be able to get Logix, and they invest in the beat.
They go all the way in, trying to get the pick off of the Shatter. Doesn't quite work out. Jer just doing 720s, 1080s, all the same thing. Awesome, dude. Earth Shatter coming in. 3 knockdown. Klaus out of it immediately. And I'm going to give the real credit there, not to the Earth Shatter, but the Jer just being absolutely intimidated.
Jer doing the 360s of just, you can't hit me. Like, mess with that hitbox, huh? There's just no way. Jer, you know, that was really the true key factor, but they do survive the grab. They weren't able to get anything off the Shatter either. They invested the beat to keep Logix alive, and in return, XL2, they've kept their combo up. If Uprising chooses the fight, which I actually believe they could, that they should be looking to get this out.
What Uprising needs here is Crackalack to connect with the Diva Gods and just let it loose. Take down 2 or 3.
Grab
but Eden again! Logix, though, this time going to be one that lets it get Eden. Self-destruct coming on out, gets nothing. Uprising with a real chance here. Crackalack drop his self-destruct of his own. Back
by the Shatter! The bash getting 3. That cleans up Mangachu just waiting. They didn't have any bubbles. So good for Mangachu to read that.
Well, I said the Diva Gods would have to be contacted, but it was Wuyall and Mangachu that had their prayers answered there.
Crackalack have lost the favor of the Diva Gods.
Yeah, it just wasn't there. And now for Uprising, their season on the line, not even a full point ahead of them. XL2 on the verge of going to the semifinals, a few fights away.
XL2 also is just so far ahead of these ults. Again, look at Goliath's trance. They can just look to be aggressive. They have so much time. Jared trying to boot him off high ground. He does get a few, but I mean, doesn't really gain much.
No,
They're not holding close.
Yeah, not when Uprising. They have to fight this early because they don't have much to give. They would love to at least have 2-fight margin, but it's real hard on point B.
They use the amp early just to get Mangachu out of there, so they won't have her this fight. That is an advantage Uprising can look to use. Amp, pretty strong ability. Both teams now just playing slow. XL2 looking for that opening.
Earthshatter in early from Fusions. They're looking for Tizzy, but the shield keeps him alive. Goliath, a Transcendental Shadow attack the other way. It's much bigger. 2 fall immediately, and XL2 looking to put Uprising season on blast.
Oh, Mangachu getting that clutch armor pack at the end as well, keeping Goliath alive. That would have been Swimmer. Swimmer? Hello? Okay, they've got him. He was just riding around, just swimming around the cart, you know, actually living up to his name. But Goliath staying alive in that fight, especially after that grab was used, means that they will have focus fire. They don't have to wait for him to be here.
Final fight here for the Uprising. Their season on the line. XL2 looking to go deeper into the playoffs. How are they going to do this here? Dino holding on to the Transcendence. Logic's in the back. Grab ready. This is a grab that needs to be eaten. Early self-destruct, though. Going in early. Doesn't get anything. And Uprising now having to be forced back. And already you see Asking almost already down.
So many resources already put out there as well. They do have both support ults, but XL2, they popped the rally. They can just slowly encroach upon them and just look for the best grab bomb combo they can.
Logic's going to be looking for that grab right here, right now. Dino in the back on Transcendence. Logic's, what are you going to do here? He's holding on to it in the back. Barrier infested. Uprising needs to somehow dodge this. Transcendence in from Dino. Grab guy connect to the payload. Asking already down. Fall through is coming in from XL2. They're dispatching Uprising, and that is going to be enough. It's XL2 eliminating Uprising and moving on to the semifinals.
Just cleaning up, just playing this. XL2 does one thing really good, and that is play the slow game when they need to. They just waited for the setup, they waited to engage with the beat, and just focus fired from there. They engage with Diva Bomb. They do something I don't particularly like, where they use the Diva Bomb first, then go for the grab. But in that scenario, it was very strong because they've been splitting. You're able to catch just one person, get the frag. XL2 looking to control, winning the series, looking a lot better towards the end.
And also, they defied the trend, the all-important trend of today, which is going
no map 5.
No map 5.
No map 5. No crabs in chat for no map 5.
Yeah, take that, crabs, and your catchy rave music that you all dance to nowadays.
Is that we all the youth?
Yes.
The youth dancing.
You know, everything they do before they just end up in Red Lobster. Like, I don't know, you can live your life. Live your life.
Well, you are out of touch, huh? I'm going to teach you about crabs.
All right.
About the crab dance in particular.
I mean, you bought the keychain. Clearly, you
I didn't. It's a gift, okay? But secondly, it was appreciated gift. It was an appreciated gift because it allows me to express my love of the dancing crabs. All right. But that was a good series. I think XL2 stumbled a little bit out the gate, but they picked up their footing. They just showed why they've been so strong historically in Contenders. They just look so coordinated. They played the slow game when they need to. Logix did some like crazy heavy lifting. I mean, honestly, all of them. Tizzy, Wooyall, Logix, they all had great moments. Everyone on the team. And I think it's what you want to see, too, for XL2, where they dropped a few game or series that they probably wouldn't have liked to have dropped, which is why they don't end up in the #1 seed. But, you know, you take a look at where they're heading now, I think you have to be pretty bullish on XL2. I think they might be a favorite to end up getting to the finals. We'll I think XL2 looks a lot less sloppy overall than Fusion Unity.
Yes.
I will say that. But Fusion Unity, that's just like their mystique. That's their aesthetic. It's just map 5. So...
Well, guys, we still have more Overwatch left to go. That's right. It's Atlanta, the former Hot Dogs, taking on NRG to round out the night. You won't want to miss it. Be right back.